Turn it on, it's time to go. NaPodPoMo steals the show. 30 days of something new. On call for just for you. Every word, every line. Racing hearts, it's our time. This podcast is uncalled for. Open the door, hear what's in store. NaPodPoMo, it's a blast. Hit play and let the fun last. A mic, a dream, a spark of fire. Ideas climbing higher, higher. Day by day we're pushing through. All for this moment, just for you. This podcast is uncalled for. Open the door, hear what's in store. NaPodPoMo, it's a blast. Hit play and let the fun podcast is uncalled for. NaPodPoMo, forevermore. Let's go, let's go. Hear the roar and die for we all adore. This podcast is uncalled for. Open the door, hear what's in store. NaPodPoMo, it's a blast. Hit play and let the fun
Good morning, everybody. So, welcome to this podcast Uncalled For, our NaPodPoMo series. I say series, well, obviously you're watching it on video right now, and yeah, we're going into the spirit of things. You'll be seeing at least one of these a day throughout the month of November. So happy November 1st, All Saints Day for those who celebrate. And of course tomorrow is El Día de los Muertos. Of course, part of my podcast is geeking out about really mundane things, everything. I'm driving to my day job right now because I do work on Saturdays, and along my route to work happens to be the KC Streetcar, which unfortunately I can't really take to work because it doesn't go all the way there, but I have made a habit of driving the route to and from work, and I've had a number of attempts at trying to record this for YouTube, but I haven't really succeeded, so we're going to do it right here, and I'm going to keep talking because dead audio makes for terrible podcasting for the audio only format, and we'll find a way to make these available in video formats once this month is over. So I'm going to flip the camera now, and yes, you see me driving. I'm choosing to start here because this is the end of the line. We just had the big expansion open last week, and that will be part of the upcoming 10th season. Just have to get that in. So to your right now, this is the UMKC stop. This is the end of the line. UMKC, University of Missouri, Kansas City. Also happens to be where I went to college. So, yeah, this is where I went to school and all that. So the streetcar is going to stay to my right for at least one more stop before the southbound trains cross the middle of the street. And we're off onto our next stop. This is the big plaza stop, the Country Club Plaza. The plaza itself is to my left, with the Spanish-influenced architecture and all that. I read recently they're looking to put more high-rises in there, which I think would be awesome. Certainly help out the density issues. But yeah, you saw the big platform there on my right. That is the plaza stop. That's where all those festivities happened last week that I happened to attend. So, yeah. I got a big old tow truck in front of me. And it says slow connection. Okay. So we're just sitting here, and yeah, this is exciting times for our area, and just the beginning, because we have another extension that I will show you in this post, going up to the Riverfront, and then we got at least 3, I would dare say 4 future stops coming up over the course of the next few years, because it really does take years for this sort of thing to happen. Hell, it took a decade of planning and 3 years of construction to get this extension done. And you see, here's your southbound train, goes down the middle of the street here. This is Main Street. It was Brookside Boulevard until we crossed the street there, and now it's Main Street, and then it becomes Delaware in the River Market area. So right here, this is the next stop coming up at the light. This is Art Museums. The field right here to your right, that used to be the 4 Points Hotel, where I started my security work back in the day. It has, of course, it's been torn down. So, and you probably just saw a streetcar right there. And I think this is the closest between stops on the line, because we just passed Art Museums and we're coming up to Southmoreland. Another interesting example of a field that used to have a building. The southwest corner here where the actual platform is, that used to be a liquor store. Used to be a Barbelia stood there, and they tore it down and didn't bother putting anything else in. Alright. So my first ever job out of college was out of the Navy, actually, was working for a floor crew. This Total Line Mora we just passed, that used to be an Office Depot that we cleaned. Right over here to your right is St. Paul's, where we currently have chess clubs after school. And we're coming up on the crossover. There's a crossover right here at Westport Road. And right over here, that's the bar formerly known as Harling's, where we would hang out after IFC when I started. So, and we have reached the Westport stop. And there is a beautiful streetcar right there. And southbound, there's another one in northbound. 39th Street over here, that'd be part of that east-west study that they're looking to. Don't expect any construction on it for another few years. So I don't know why the current jackass is in office, but that spur would go down to KU Med and be the first bit to cross into Kansas. So, all right. So we're tooling along. Let's see that beautiful machine in front of me. To my this is the next stop. This is Armour for Armour Boulevard right here, and no one's stopping because there's no one there to take it. And then that east-west thing that I mentioned a minute ago, the east parts would be kind of about here at the next lights. This is Linwood Boulevard, and it would go east all the way down to Van Brunt. So it hit the poor parts of town. It hit Troost and Prospect and the VA hospital. Which, fun little fact, I wound up at the VA hospital for DoorDash this week, a couple of days ago. There's the famous Gates Barbecue right there. The next stop is Union Hill, which is close to a lot of things that have been important to me, including the KCPT studio, which is just a couple blocks to your right. Look at that. That's our PBS station. So this is Union Hill. And we keep tooling along. You see the tower there? That is to your left, that is the Federal Reserve Bank. And they actually print money here. We'll have 12 places in the entire country to do so, folks. Look for the letter J on your dollar bills. It came from this bank. There's also a really cool money museum that I highly recommend checking out if you are ever in town. And then right across the street from that is what's in the name of the next stop, the World War I Museum and Memorial. We locals just call it the Liberty Memorial. And then you have Crown Center to your right. Here, this whole thing is Crown Center. It's basically, you could think of it as a company town for Hallmark. And that right there is the Westin Crown Center, where yes, I did work security in that building as well. And we're coming up to where the new line meets the old line. This is Union Station. So Union Station itself to your left, and kudos to them for making it a working station. And then to your right here as we cross the street and actually hit the platforms. This is Washington Square Park, currently only used by homeless. All right, we're back. So, yeah, what happened there was, yeah, for some reason it doesn't like my connection crossing the railroad tracks here, but we're back. Decided to turn it around, so we're going back on the streetcar line. So this is 20th Street. So the next stop would be the Crossroads. So this is the Crossroads district. And right here is the Crossroads stop for the streetcar. So this is the starter portion of the line from Union Station to the River Market. And we're approaching 18th Street here. Important to point out because they just started a study for an 18th and Vine line, which that's 18th Street. 18th and Vine district is to my right there. Quite a few blocks. And they're doing a lot of work in that district. This is the Kaufman Center stop. The actual Kaufman Center is to my left, up a hill. On top of the hill. It's a very hard building to miss. And for any Chiefs or Swifties, the 1587 is within walking distance of here too. So this right here is Parent Lights stop, Parent Lights district. This is the closest you can get to Bartle Hall from here, which brings us to the unofficial route. As in KCSA didn't bring this up yet, but it's been floated by the Mid-American Regional Council, MARC. It would come right here. This is a Metro Center stop right here. There's no platform on the southbound, but there's a platform. There's no shelter on the southbound. There's a shelter on the northbound. The southbound is from the tallest building in the state of Missouri, 1 KC Place. But that 12th Street line would connect downtown KCK to also go into Kansas to the East Village transit stop. The public library is over here, and this stop right here is the library stop. And what the hell is going on here? Anyways, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, the Green Corridor, which would go all the way from Independence Square to Village West, the Legends area, all of which I think should have some form of rail on it, but because our area is run by a bunch of fucking cheapos, we're only getting streetcar from KCK, the South of Minnesota transit stop, all the way to East Village transit stop, around which is nothing and should have been where they put the ballpark in the first place. Right here is North Loop stop, which is the least used of the mainline stops, but they try to fix that by opening these parking lots up for free on weekends, like today. And now we enter the River Market portion, and I will actually go drive around the entire line this time. I usually don't, but I got a shitload of time before I actually have to be at work. So we'll just follow the line. And this is a one-way loop that we will be driving. See right there, no entry. And it's from this loop that the NorthRail would spin off. That's the next to come up, and I think we will hit NorthRail because it does coincide with my route to the office. at least part of NorthRail. I shouldn't say, I'm not going to tread the whole extended loop. This is the city market stop of the streetcar, just the one platform. And right here is the Opera House. I do highly recommend this place. And okay, this jabroni is stopping. Moving is poop emoji, the end. Okay. Nice advertising too. Okay. I gotta go around. Clearly, gotta go around because... Oh, by the way, you're blocking the tracks, asshole. So I'm going to turn here because, again, staying on the line. The turn is here. But if NorthRail goes the way I think, it would continue down the street here. Hit Columbus Park before crossing the Missouri River on the Heart of America. So, in terms of driving, yeah, 3 bridges to be, well, 3 to be aware of when traveling downtown. Going west to east, we have Broadway Bridge, then Heart of America, and then the Cat Bond Bridge. The guy hit that guy. So, and there is a streetcar, making the turn. So, right here, this is interesting. So altogether, I think they're going to call this River Market. As the platform ahead of me, this is the northbound River Market platform. This is part of the Riverfront extension, but we're still doing the loop here, and they have it so you can go either way. You have another platform right here, and we are going to be right behind the streetcar right here. This is the original platform. This is called River Market North, but I'm going to take a wild guess that this will also be renamed River Market, because when you're actually right in the streetcar, when you hit this, the announcer says, this is River Market, which makes me think, they're going to have to rename that at some point, because it's still River Market North. So we continue down, and we are actually following the streetcar. The 811, especially made in UMKC blue and gold. Go Roos. And it says UMKC on the destination thing. Yep, Roo up. So this is now Delaware Street, and this will become Main Street once we cross the loop again. But we're not crossing the loop again now, are we? So it's stopping right here because this is the next stop. This is River Market West stop, and with right next door to this is the place formerly known as the Cup and Saucer is now Thou Mayest, one of many locations for Thou Mayest, including the one I'm going to recommend for everyone, the Nelson, as a Thou Mayest within it. Really good. And there's your arrival bars to UMKC. And as to how UMKC came to be the ruse in the first place, we're going to go back around the loop here. And I'm going to show you the Riverfront extension. But how UMKC came to be known as the ruse in the first place, well, short for kangaroo, first and foremost. It was a convoluted thing back in the Depression era, where you had the KC Zoo adopting a couple of kangaroos, and Walt Disney himself creating a mascot for the then University of Kansas City. Didn't become University of Missouri, Kansas City until like the 60s. Before that, it was a private university called University of Kansas City. And Walt Disney created Casey the Kangaroo, which remains our mascot to this day. So, yeah, you could credit Disney for creating our mascots. How cool is that? I don't think that was the case for Oregon, even though Donald Duck is basically their mascot. Right. So, yeah, we're doing the Riverfront extension now, so we're back at that river market. So this is the northbound river market. It will not open until I was told February or March. So give it a few more months. It's still got a lot of testing to do on this portion. And this portion took about a year to actually build. So that's pretty cool. Right? So much smaller extension than the Main Street extension we just drove down. And again, back to that whole NorthRail thing. If NorthRail does include an enlarged river market loop, it would connect it. It could connect westbound here. So this is the river market platform, and then we're going across a bridge. Not there. That also tracks to the depot. Right there. And here's the bridge. You see there's another bridge being built right next to it, and that would be for pedestrians and bicyclists. So that's pretty cool. And unfortunately they went out of business recently, but that dog bar, the Bark or Barquet or whatever the fuck you wanted to call it, would be to your would be off the bridge to your right here, where the dog takes you back home, as our friend Conrado would say. Yeah, the tracks would go there. So this is close to the south as we can get. Whoa, bright sun today. This is close to we come to the tracks on this part of the line. It continues down, and this is the Riverfront line. So the Missouri River is just literally right next to this stop. We have all this beautiful development right here, where nothing is being. So we got some new buildings coming up, and this is the Riverfront stop right to my left here with 2 shelters in place and provision for extending it should the casino over here ever decide to get on board with it. It could be extended down to the casino, and I think it would behoove the casino to do just that. It passed that women's soccer stadium that's down here too. No, I will not be. I am not a current fan, and I don't think I ever will be, because I don't want to give Brittany Mahomes any money. So, all right. So we're going to double back, and I'm going to show you what the NorthRail route would look like should that ever come to pass, and I hope it does. That is that and the big east-west, those are next to on deck. 18th of mine that study just started, and the Green Corridor, that's not Streetcar Authority study just yet. So it's either east-west or NorthRail, and because I'm going to work up NorthRail, it is, I may have to show you east-west, probably on a Monday or a Wednesday, because I gotta go that way for work as well. And all right, so we're back at River Markets. So you see the track right there where the streetcar made the left turn earlier, and there's track here for the right turn, which will make completing the loop a little more, should I say, Musakashi. Here's your Japanese lesson for today, folks. Musakashi means difficult in Japanese. Alright, so I'm going to turn left here. So with NorthRail, the track would continue going down 5th Street. They would close off the loop, so they'd put more track between that southbound portion on Delaware into the existing eastbound on 5th, which would be quite an engineering feat, but these guys have done a pretty good job with what we have so far. So I trust their judgment making that happen. But NorthRail, yeah. So continue down this way, down 5th Street, and almost double the length of the existing line, if you will. Then we're going to turn on to Cherry Street because this would be the next portion. Alright. They would put a stop right here at this empty field. This is the Columbus Park neighborhood. Right here. And we're going to stop. This is 3rd Street. So in theory, yeah, the loop would go this way to your left, but NorthRail itself would continue over this bridge. This is the heart of America. And this building right here is the streetcar depot. Alright, so we're going up north into North KC. I remind everyone, North KC is a separate city from Kansas City. Kansas City does take up space north of the river here. See, entering Clay County from leaving Jackson County into Clay County. The track would, I'm basically driving on where the track would be for the HOA bridge portion of the line, which again still years away. Simply because it takes that long to get all the planning done and the logistics and the funding and everything. There's a lot of shit that goes on in planning transit. So we cross the Missouri River. We're crossing some rail crossings, and there is a reason I'm turning here, and that's because I'm following the routes that was prescribed. So I go forward. This is Burlington Street up until the end of the North KC city limits, where it splits in two. One is Missouri Highway 9, and that goes to Riverside and Parkville, and the other is North Oak Trafficway. So we're going to go down here, and this is Swift Street, Taylor's version, and it's down Swift Street that the line would go. Excuse me. Now we're talking about ballpark locations earlier. Sorry, I'm just choking on stuff here. We're talking about ballpark locations earlier. About right about here is where, if the ballpark were to be built in North KC and not Washington Square Park, which again is my preferred spot, but if it's a North KC ballpark, it'd be built about right here to my right is where it would go. Right along where NorthRail would be as well. This is largely industrial, not a whole lot to write home about. In fact, I think a lot of it's abandoned, kind of thinking about it. So stuff to think about. Not all of it though. So this high rise right here, that's still that is brand new architecture right here. That's apartments, I think. And it's not like North KC is devoid of life. Absolutely not. We're coming up to another Armour Boulevard. Actually, I think this one's just Armour Road. Same spelling, by the way. Which denotes downtown North KC. So yeah, I guess this would be a downtown ballpark too, just not downtown Kansas City. Yeah, this is Armour Road. So this is basically the downtown of North KC. To my right down this street, you have both chapels, sports museum, and restaurants. Highly recommend the place. In fact, yeah, we had Jim Chappell on Winning Side, and that interview had been recycled into this podcast. I do highly recommend that. And Screenland is down here too. Both about within the next couple of blocks over here. And then NorthRail would just continue down this way all the way to the end of the street, which I think it's 32nd Street. We'll continue this way. All right. So yeah, we'll do later on in this vlog series. We'll do the East-West at some point when I on days that I have to go out to Blue Springs, and we'll do 18th and Vine at some point too, and probably get some of that Green Line in as well. And once again, I think it's bullshit that the rail portion is so small for the Green Line. It really should be the whole line, because let's face it, you want to increase transit and make it green. I don't think buses are the way to do it. We've had buses in this metro for God knows how long, and nobody wants to take them. And for good reason, because the bus, especially in the suburbs, the buses have been inconsistent at best, if existent at all. And buses are boring. Rail is fun, and I was reminded of that last week when we did all that with the extension opening. So we are, continuing to tool down Swift Streets, Taylor's version. I kid about that. But seriously, how could you not be happy for Taylor and Travis? It's been about a couple months now that since they announced they were getting engaged, and it happened right here in this beautiful city. And this is about where the end of the line is. If I guess you could extend this further north and have it join North Oak at this point, but you'd be cutting through this auto sales in this dog park in front of me. once again, the dog takes you back home, and I'm going to continue down North Oak. So this is the actual North Oak right here. What's this farmland parkway bullshit that I saw in the but this is North Oak, and this is the main thoroughfare through the northern parts of Kansas City. We are now in KC proper again. So North KC is enclaved by KC North, if that makes any sense to you. I'll flip it back to me, and there you go. That's the streetcar line, and over the course of 2 videos, and yeah, that's a good way to get NaPodPoMo off to a good start. So I'll do at least once a day here during the month of November, and if I do multiples like I had to today because the fucking thing cut off on me, yeah, I'll do that. So I want to thank everyone for watching today, and if another post happens today, let it happen. Otherwise, I'll plan on seeing y'all tomorrow. Good morning. Hoy es el Dia de los Muertos. So, happy Day of the Dead for those who celebrate. Or, as I'm sure the late, great Sam Kinison would say, the Day of the Dead! So, part of what I want to do today is talking about the Ex-Mormon experience. Those who are regular listeners know I am an Ex-Mormon. Left the church well over 20 years ago now, and do not regret it. I've been everything, given them when I can. Today, unfortunately, is one of those days I can't go because the coffee is in. So the coffee's in Topeka today. That is a good hour and a half for me on a brand new engine that I'm still trying to pay down, and that is not a drive I really want to make right now. But yeah, lots going on in the Mormon world today. Well, first of all, I should explain it. Today is the first Sunday of the month, and first Sundays of the month are traditionally fast and testimony meeting Sundays within the LDS Church. What I mean by that, I mean that you're expected to fast for 24 hours. You're supposed to take the money that you would have used for food during that period and give it to the church. I notice how a lot of the charitable donation that Mormons do is to the church itself, not to any other causes. So those of you who think it might be a cult, well, here you go. So you're expected to fast. You're expected to give the money to the church as a fast offering, and then you're supposed to talk about it during the sacrament meeting, which is what the Mormons call the Mass portion of their day. Mass, of course, I know that's a Catholic term, but that's about the equivalent of what we're talking about. here. Normally, in a sacrament meeting, you usually get inundated with speeches about the church and everything from local priesthood holders to can be anywhere from local priesthood holders to local authorities. I don't recall ever seeing a general authority when I was there, but there you go. During a fast testimony meeting, that changes somewhat. Anyone can come up to the podium and bear testimony. It's usually very formulaic. I know this is the True Church of Jesus Christ. I know that Joseph Smith was a prophet, and whatever else they have been wanting to talk about that day. And I say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. All right. So basically, that is what fast testimony is. Usually, you'll see little kids get up there. I know that did it too. I know that doesn't mean that prophet. I know my mommy and daddy love me. That sort of thing. And the sun is bright today, so we will go. Yeah, that's happening. Okay. Alright, we are stopping real quick. I do apologize for blinding everybody. You can't predict when the sun is going, especially in a moving video like this. I've been driving this whole time. The best I can do is try to mitigate and everything. So, all right, we got a dog, and other goings on in Mormon land right now. Oh yeah, there's a new prophet San Rafael because Nelson died. For those of you lucky enough not to know who I'm talking about, Russell M. Nelson was 101 years old when he passed away. Famously hated using the term Mormon. Well, there's a reason they're called Mormons, because they used the Book of Mormon as a holy scripture. No, I don't hate it. God hates it. Kiss my ass. Everyone was still calling themselves Mormon anyway. So, new president, Donald A. Jokes is the new president of the church. Basically the LDS equivalent of a pope. And the last I checked, there is now a vacancy in the quorum of the 12 apostles. Credit to Sean McCraney for that. Which means there are 11 apostles on that quorum, 14 total, because the first presidency is president of the church and its 2 counselors, and then your quorum of the 12. Do I? Well, obviously, I still don't believe the church's teaching. Certainly not their teaching that there is a prophet on earth and he is a mouthpiece for God. Obviously, a lot of people don't believe that, because there are a lot of splinter groups from the LDS church. A lot of them in my backyard, literally, Independence, Missouri, just on the other side of the metro, is A, Mormon Holy Land. They think the second coming is going to happen there. And B, you have the Community of Christ Church based there. You have the Temple lots, Because there you have all sorts of issues from both those groups. And I could go on, but seeing as I want to keep this one relatively short, especially after yesterday being long AF. Yeah, so gonna make it to Ex-Mormon coffee today. Hope you guys have a good time today. I hope to see you next month. We'll see about that. Because those are always a good time. Always a good time to meet other former Mormons and hear their stories of how they left the church, why they left the church, and all that good stuff. And I think this is a good time to call it. So we might do another one later today, but if we don't, I will certainly see you tomorrow. Alright, hello. Day 3 of this. And just got done getting the oil changed. And going to start heading towards work here in a little bit. But first I'm going to check on my father and a little errand he called me at the last possible minute to try to help him with. I'm sorry, that's not exactly how I roll. You know, I have shit to do, and doing stuff at the last minute is just a no-go. So anyway, the oil is changed. I was got the air filter change, and for relatively cheap because points. Because here's a funny thing: when you go to a shop that has a rewards system and as warranties and stuff, you get to do cool shit like free oil changes for a certain period of time. So there will be a couple more of these later today. I think I'll do one out on the way actually to work, and I got we got the monthly free play tournament over against Christian College, so I'll get a little bit of that too. So, all right, I'll see you in a little bit. We're back. Forgot to give a quick shout out to my guy Jared. Probably one of the better mechanics around here. So if you're in the Kansas City area and you need to have your car worked on, he's the guy to go to. He was instrumental in getting this new engine in, and helped me out today with the oil change. So it turns out I don't need to help out my dad right now. So alright, it's gonna be a while until I get to where I need to go next, so we might as well talk whilst driving again. So talk a little, I guess we could talk a little bit about football, because it is football season. I think it's about halfway through the NFL season right now. If you're a regular listener to the podcast, you know I probably can't bring myself to really watch the NFL anymore. Especially since after the 2015 season. Afterward, well, I'm sorry, but St. Louis is a great football town. They are proving that with the UFL, with the Battlehawks. And that would not have been possible had Stan Kroenke not given us the a giant middle finger. And, broken the NFL's relocation rules as well. And that's the crux of what I want to talk about. I'm talking St. Louis is a great sports town and a great football town that gets unfairly tagged as just a baseball town. That was the excuse that the NFL gave to justify screwing St. Louis out of a team. As far as I'm concerned, that team, the entire concept of LA Rams died in the 90s when they moved to St. Louis in the first place. LA has now had a decade to demonstrate that they are not a football town. Never have been. Case in point, just look at when the Whiners played them in that stadium that should have never been built. That shall remain nameless. Is entirely red. Last time I checked, Rams colors are blue and gold, not red. That's Whiner colors. So, who's kidding who, Stan? Could a stadium have been built in LA? Absolutely. The stadium in Vegas could have been built in LA. I would still argue should have been built in LA. That would have been the Carson site. And remember, that committee that looked over those relocation plans said 5-1 should be Carson for the Chargers and the Raiders. Because I do think those two teams were going to move regardless of what happened with St. Louis. I'm sorry, but good luck trying to get stadium financing in the state of California. St. Louis did have a plan. Dave Beacott, Bob Blitz, they had a plan to keep the Rams in St. Louis, and the NFL blatantly ignored it. And wound up costing the NFL $790 million, which to this day, the St. Louis authorities are still trying to figure out how to properly use it. And no, that's fine. That's fine. They earned it, and they should do it however they see fit. And if it takes time to do so, so be it. You know, but don't for a second think that the Rams are there legitimately, because it all comes down to how do the owners in question act in accordance with the NFL's own relocation rules. And you have to be an idiot to think that Stan did that, because he did not. He did not. That was adjudicated in court that he didn't. All right. The courts said, there has to be good faith efforts between the city and the team to negotiate a stadium to before they can even consider moving, and that did not happen. Hence, $790 million in judgment, and just to keep it from going to trial. San Diego, well, A, the Chargers were born in LA. B, Dean Spanos actually did try his darndest to keep the Chargers in San Diego, but unfortunately, the last efforts to do so, he went to a public vote, didn't even get half the vote. And Oakland, they've been doing nothing. And Oakland has now lost all of their teams. So this was the first baseball season in a while that there were no Oakland A's. They were just the A's, and they were playing in Sacramento. Sacramento has a pretty nasty habit of taking KC teams. Although the A's were KC by way of Oakland, but still. So yeah, not so much excited about the NFL, and I'm sorry, the Chiefs lost their opportunity to bring me in as a fan when Clark Hunt voted against the Carson plan. And I know what some of you are going to think. Well, he was okay with the Chargers alone moving to LA. There was no plan for the Chargers to move to LA alone. They were always going to be paired with someone. The logical parent would have been the Raiders. I don't care if they are in the same division. Everything. Neither team was going to be staying in San Diego or Oakland, respectfully. So that should have been the way to go. And yeah, if you had to realign because of it to get the teams out of the same division, okay, that I would have been okay with that too. But Clark Hunt basically gave St. Louis one of these. And so, yeah, you'll never see me wearing Chiefs shit as a result. Once again, happy for Kelsey and Taylor, but you will never get me to wear red. All right, you kind of blew it there, pal. So, I may do one of these during this month, just give my top moments from New Heights, because I do listen to that podcast, and I do enjoy listening to it, and of course the top moment has to be my little contribution to the podcasts, telling them about that sandwich. All right. So yeah. Now, in addition to all that, some of you may know I do a companion a second podcast within the RSS feed of Uncalled For. It's called Unofficial Fan Lounge. See what they did there, UFL. And it's about the UFL, the United Football League, which is the home to the St. Louis Battlehawks. Best attended team in the United Football League. For those of you living under a rock, the UFL is about to go into year 3 as presently constituted. Of course, they are a merger between the most recent version of the USFL, which brought back a bunch of USFL from the 80s names like Birmingham Stallions and Michigan Panthers, and the most recent version of the XFL, your Battlehawks, your DC Defenders, and all that. They brought in the league brought in a new owner. The league owns all the teams now. And they brought in a new owner, and to say he shook things up the last couple of months would be an understatement. So we have 3 teams that have been moved. So Memphis gone. I'm sorry, you can't keep a team on just 4K, under 4K average attendance. So Memphis Showboat's gone. Michigan Panthers temporarily gone. They could be back. Should Detroit City get their stadium affairs in order? Because let's face it, Ford Field, they weren't even remotely close to selling out that place. Ford Field, of course, the home of the Detroit Lions in the NFL, and San Antonio Brum is also gone. Same thing as Michigan, but they do have a soccer stadium in San Antonio, but it's too small for what this new owner is looking for. And I've seen a lot of people say, well, what about this stadium that's a high school stadium? Well, I'm pretty sure there are rules against high school stadiums serving alcohol and some other logistical things. And I know there are a shitload of almost college grade high school stadiums throughout the state of Texas. But again, it's high school. So those 3 teams out. In their place, we have the Columbus Aviators. Interesting name. Not too keen on the logo. Then we have the Louisville Kings. Louisville has no major pro teams to it, and do we really need another horse-themed team in this league? You already have the Birmingham Stallions. So do we need another horse team? Well, I guess the NFL has 2. Alright, and then you have the Orlando Storm. So they didn't even bring back the XFL name, the Guardians. They came up with something kind of, sort of new. Kind of has some people thinking the Tampa Bay Storm in the Arena League. When they were still around. But it'll be interesting to see those 3 teams playing in soccer stadiums announced. So the only UFL team that's still playing in an NFL quality stadium is the Battlehawks, and that's because we're the only team that's demonstrated that we can adequately sell a NFL stadium. Even one that the league and the previous owner kind of shit on. So, then the other 2 Texas teams, the Roughnecks, are now the Gamblers, so they're going back to the USFL name with a far superior logo. This time I'm never crazy about the original Gambler logo. And then you got the Renegades getting out of the prison. Sorry, Arlington, if you don't want me making that joke, don't build a ballpark that more closely resembles a maximum security penitentiary. Simple as that. And they changed the name back to Dallas Renegades. Moving to the MLS stadium. Not even in Dallas, it's in Frisco. And the other 3 teams, Stallions, Defenders, Battlehawks, they're all staying put. So yeah, that's cool. And those happen to be the three teams I think have the strongest fan cultures of the EFL. You have us, the Battlehawks, with keep setting those attendance records, averaging 30K a game, breaking spring attendance right at over 40K. Law and Fuck Rocky is basically our culture. DC, their fan culture is they set the example for playing in soccer stadiums, and of course they got the Bear Snake, which I still maintain is the coolest fan tradition in the entire league. And of course, with Birmingham, you have everyone taking their shirts off and thinking they're Jason Kelsey in Buffalo, and all that. And it doesn't hurt that Birmingham and DC have both won the UFL championship. Birmingham in 24, DC in 25, and hopefully the Battlehawks win in 26. And another thing I think is really cool about this coming year is that they're getting rid of the conference designation, so there's not going to be a USFL conference and an XFL conference. It's just a single table league with all 8 teams, and I think that's cool and everything, but as a fan of the Premier League, which also uses the single table, what you really should be doing is, instead of just the 10 games that you're planning, because you can't play home and away with 8 teams on a 10-game schedule, you need to expand the season to 14, so that you can guarantee home and away with every team. So really excited about that. UFL season doesn't start until late March, so at least they're staying consistent there in late March. Spring football ain't nothing like it. But yeah, once again, just difficult following the NFL more. I know I've said I've adopted the Arizona Cardinals as my post-Rams team because Michael Bidwell voted against the move. Voted against the final plan, to which I still give him a ton of credit, honestly. But we're kind of sucking right now. The Cardinals are. And I'm quite impressed with how the Colts have been under new ownership. For the who haven't been paying attention, Jim Irsay passed away, and his daughters now run the team. And one of them, Carly, has been quite hands-on as an owner, to the point that she's on the sidelines every game wearing headsets and taking notes and everything. And I wish more owners were like that too. And the Colts, I'll be 100% honest here. The Colts were always my number 2 team as a Ram fan, and now that Jim Irsay is passed, I could see a scenario where they could be my number 2 team again. And I'm not going to talk much about college football because I don't really follow college football all that much, except that Colorado's stinking up the joint this year. And I have no idea how Notre Dame or Florida State are doing right now. But, yeah. Alright. I think we'll end this particular post here. That's all I really want to talk about football-wise. And if anyone wants to argue with me about the merits of having a team in St. Louis or that particular team, coming back to Heley just because, well, they've been around for 50 plus years. Have you looked at the attendance, assholes? That is all. So, yeah, until next post. Hello again, everybody. So, coming at you from beautiful Blue Springs, Missouri. I'm actually parked at the school I'm about to teach at this afternoon, and you'll get at least one more of these today. I know a lot happening today from our Monday night, our first Monday night's activities out at the Kansas Christian College. If you're in the Kansas City area and want to play some chess, come on down. I do charge a $10 visitor fee. But so come on down, and all that. So yeah, just got done booking appearance on another podcast. So right now, in addition to working on my own podcasts, I'm offering to appear on other people's podcasts, and I'm happy to announce I'm going to be appearing on a podcast called Drink O'Clock. And that won't record until December 17th. So anytime after that, just keep an eye out for that. I'll probably spend a little bit of time talking about this podcast. And we got another recording for Uncalled For scheduled for the 22nd this month. I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm doing a call with another podcast also in December. And I also need to get back in touch with a friend of the podcast, Brody Oatesway. You can listen to Brody's episode of our podcast now. Brody Oatesway Fandom's podcast is the name of the episode. So do look at that. But is my episode on his podcast, unfortunately, stuff happened, and it sounds like we have to re-record. Well, considering that we were talking about Star Trek when I was on his show, and there's been a lot more Star Trek to happen since that recording, I have a feeling that it'll be slightly different this time around, but we'll see. I do need to get that taken care of, and yeah, try and get some more locally sourced interviews as well. And that's it for now. We'll see you in a little bit. I'll show you around our setup for that first Monday. So. Hi everybody. So as promised, I'm here at Kansas Christian College, and we'll show you around. So all right. So there's our gear right there, set up right there at the podium. Simple hallway down. The hallway, we are underneath the chapel here at the college. Up these stairs, come out this way. You can see where I parked. Not a very big campus at all, but still very noticeable. So down there is 75th Street. Metcalf is just blocked to my left where I'm looking. Behind the tree here, I See, go down this way. You see, we have the pharmacy right there. That's where I get my meds, and behind that is my shop. So, yeah, very familiar place for me. So I'm gonna get something out of the car real quick, and yeah, hopefully people show up for this. This is a monthly thing that we do, and yeah, I just hope we have good turnout this evening. And if nothing else, I hope we don't need to do another one of these this evening, but we'll definitely do a couple tomorrow. And until tomorrow, hopefully. See you then. Morning, everybody. So, yeah, one of those things you gotta do. Gotta get the car washed, especially since birds been shitting on it lately. So,
please wait while you're transferred. Thank you.
all right.
Move forward slowly into the wash.
Fun times. All right. Yeah, I gotta get the car washed. Got the car, well, got the old shoes on and got the car washed. Alright, and here comes the fun part. We just sit around for a while, so I might as well talk while I'm sitting here. So today is election day, of course, and there are two races I want to talk about today, both of them local to me. The first is Overland Park Mayor. I already got my voting out of the way because we have early voting here in Johnson County, Kansas, and my vote was for Faris Faisadi. I'm sorry, Skoog. I don't know if he is a Democrat now or not. He certainly wasn't when he was on OP City Council. Well, he must be one of those moderate Republicans who switched parties and is now a Dem. But regardless, he seems hell-bent on continuing the sprawl and I would dare say ignoring the parts of the city, as evidenced by the fact that we're still talking about the possibility of the Royals going to South OP, which I think is bullshit. They belong downtown. Coupled with they just keep expanding southward and southward. It's going to get to the point, I fear, it's going to get to the point where Overland Park winds up in Miami County at some point. I don't want to see that at all. And let's couple that with the fact they announced they were moving City Hall from where it is right now, just up here near downtown OP, to where the NC2A used to have their headquarters, which is on College Boulevard, right across the street from the Sheraton. Yes, that's Sheraton. They used to do a security ad. And no, and he's he continued down the path that Ed Eilert's put us down, and I haven't done that. So, on the flip side, Ferris helped me out 4 years ago when I ran for city council again, and was at least at the time, was a Dem. He definitely has more conservative views than I do, and that's perfectly all right. But yeah, so it's parts I'm not happy with the direction our city is going, and parts help out someone who helped me out on that. And the other one for Ward 1 at the city council, I am disgusted that Heley is running unopposed this year. That is disgusting to me. All right, and I'm going to address it once again. Some of you may be new to the program, but I'm going to address it. My shall we say feud with Logan starts in 2016 when he's the one that committed the D-on-D violence. I was already on the ballot for state senate in District 21. Here goes the fun part. We're Zoom talking, and so somehow foggy windows now, so I got to put the defoggers on and shit. So anyways, it's my feud with Logan started in 2016 when I ran for state senate, District 21. The seats, the current holder is a Democrat, Donna Sykes, but she wasn't always. She was another one of those moderate Republicans at the time. In this time frame, right? So it's held by a very right-wing Republican by the name of Greg Smith, who his platform was entirely vote for me because my daughter was murdered, and I think that's the worst type of politics, is trying to capitalize on the death of a loved one. If people have a problem with that, well, stop listening. So I decided to run, and being a lifelong Democrat of the more progressive persuasion, yeah, give it a shot. Then comes January 16, and my good friend who was running the party at the time, Nancy Liker, informs me, you have a primary opponent. It was Logan Heley. And right off the bat, I was like, I'm not going to like this guy, but we'll see what happens. I could come around, everything. But a few things happened in the months. I was strong to just listen to either time I had Andrew Rainey on the podcast. Andrew was volunteering for Bernie Sanders' campaign at the time, and has some insights on what happened, particularly at the caucus, because we were still doing caucuses in 16, where everyone shows up at the same time and stands in different corners of the room to demonstrate who they're voting for and all that. So the caucus that was the first major strike, was and all these people coming for the caucus just about the same time the Pitch had done a story on the race. I was already on the ballot at the time. Logan was not. He actually had volunteers at this caucus collecting signatures, and this is part of my beef with him and with the county party in general. One of those volunteers allegedly, now I can't 100% prove this, allegedly, and if I were able to prove it in 2016, this particular individual would be in prison for what he did. He was telling voters, sign the petition to get Logan on the ballot or you can't vote, which would be highly illegal. That volunteer, by the way, is a gentleman by the name of Brandon Woodard. Important for me to point that out because he is currently in the Kansas House of Representatives by doing some scumbag shit similar to what Logan did. So maybe that's where he got it. I don't know. But at that caucus, they were supposed to give candidates an opportunity to speak. They let Logan talk for God knows how long, and they never bothered getting me. So I find Andrew, and I find Diane Etzel-Wise to help see if I can speak with all the Bernie volunteers, because all majority of those people there were there for Bernie that day. And I talked about that on the podcast too, so go back and listen to thoughts on the 2016 election, which is not so much about Donnie, but about my experience as a candidate there, right? So that was the big strike, and I should point out that the co-chair of that caucus was a gentleman by the name of Bill Roush, who happens to be Logan's father. So nepotism much, asshole? And then comes a little later in the process, about a month later, I'm at training. I've come home, I find out that Logan had sent volunteers to my house. Now on the Republican side, Greg Smith sent folks to Dinah's house as well, and Dinah had an epic response for that. I'm voting for Dinah Sykes because I'm Dinah Sykes. Well, I wish I was home for this. And I'm like, you know who I'm running for that seat, right? This is lost in the primary. He lost in the general to Dinah, who is now a Democrat, by the way. And Bill Roush does owe me an apology for torpedoing my attempts to get back on the executive board, to make sure what happened to me didn't happen to anyone else, right? But he torpedoed me and used the fact I supported Dinah. Well, Dinah didn't treat me like shit like Logan did. All right. And spoiler alert, 2 years later, Dinah Sykes, Democrat. All right, she switched parties. All right, and I had a sense that she could, because she did not sound like a Republican during the entire cycle. She could have gone either way, I think. And I'm glad that she's a Democrat, but at the time, it was all about how did they treat me, and she treated me with respect, and that's important for me. I didn't stop this scumbag from running for city council 1 year later, and then getting reelected in 21. And I chose to run in 21 against him, and it's the same shit over and over again. Okay, I'm going to stop right now. I'm going to get some stuff before I start doing DoorDash for a little bit of DoorDash before going up to the office. I might skip DoorDash altogether, but I'll talk in a little bit. continue that story, shall we? So, where was I? Oh, yeah, we're talking about city council. So yeah, 17, he gets elected. Between 17 and 21, if you are a regular listener to the podcast, you already know this story, but I'll go and tell it for anyone who's new. So next to my house, to the east of my house, since forever, there was a big empty field on the other side, which was lined with trees, and there was a big, my mom called it the snake tree. There's a giant tree just in the middle of this field that we're told to stay away from because there were snakes there and everything. And it was actually the backyard of the house on the parallel streets behind us. And little old lady owned that house, and lets the neighborhood kids play there and everything, and just have it right next to my house. So it's kind of like an extended yard. Well, when I was helping my dad out this weekend, he reminded me of that, and also told me that he at one time tried to buy the house after that old lady passed away, but her son blocked it, and I got a better deal. Well, that better deal resulted in 2 additional houses being built right next to my house. There's still a hint of a field at the very end there, which you'll see when you turn into the cul-de-sac that our house is on. But there's 2 new houses there, and they are ridiculously overpriced. Affordable housing is a discussion for another time, but the fact that this it got me upset, got my siblings upset, and got the rest of the neighborhood upset to the point that they formed a petition. And unfortunately, it was okayed. Obviously, they built the houses since then. The plan was okayed, and guess who decided to condescend to my sister after that vote? Yeah, Logan Heley. So 21 comes around. I decided at the very last minutes that I can't have this guy be unopposed, so I'm putting my name on the ballot. And turns out I was not alone in my thinking that year, because there were 2 other candidates for that. 2 other challengers. One of them, Ryan Spencer. Ryan, good guy, definitely more conservative than me, but still a good guy. When I first met Ryan, he was being helped out by Farsadi as well. So it would have been one of the 2 of us, and I would have been I was totally fine with that. But also he said, well, I know your brother Joe. So, how'd you? Okay, that's pretty cool. And all that. So obviously the primary comes around, and they go into the events and everything. And during those events, I'm reminded very strongly of how big a scumbag this guy actually is. Brian Boy said himself when we did our 100th episode, he was super douchey, and there's that's putting it. That's a way to describe him. I'm using much stronger language than super douchey. But he does come off as such, as you do when you go to the rich kids school and you do your college at USC. I'm not talking South Carolina, and no, I'm talking USC Trojans there. And everything out of his mouth. Oh, I'm about education. You don't hold an office that deals with education like at all. So why the fuck are you even bringing up education? Same goes with the Senate. Why are you bringing up education? The Senate has nothing to do with education. You know, they're separate entities for that. You know. Hence my characterization of him as being a noun, a verb in education. So, and that's something that, frankly, Dems, let's stop with that, please. I know I've tried to stop with that. So let's all make a conscious effort right now. Just stop talking about education, because A, a lot of people don't really give a shit about that. B, unless you're specifically running for a job that deals with it, shut the fuck up about it. You know? And as I say, you got another term, and now this bullshit of him going unopposed. And so many contradictions with this guy. I swear to God. Oh, I'm for the environment. Well, you okayed putting an express lane in on a freeway. That's hardly education. That's hardly environmentalists. You okayed tearing down a golf course, which if you feel a certain way about golf, you know, that's fine. But on the other hand, golf courses are green space. You're tearing up green space for a district that no one asked for, and you're just continuing with this. Let's push everything further south and be inaccessible. And he's given lip service to improving transit. And I do say lip service. Now, to his credit, he did show up to the Main Street Extension grand opening. And to my credit, I didn't punch him in the face. So, he is the example of what we're talking about within the Democratic Party, between corporate Democrats and progressive Democrats. He is clearly on the corporate side. And Andrew, friend of the podcast, Andrew Rainey, could tell you that as well. Because the Bernie campaign, who they reach out to in that race, not to Logan, I'll tell you that. They reached out to me. Because I would like to think I'm more progressive. I certainly supported Bernie in 16, and here's how much I support Bernie. I wrote Bernie in 24 because let's face it, Harris is also is a national example of a corporatists, Democrats who, well, those corporate Dems are really ruining it for the rest of us. So we need to do something about 29. But in the meantime, fuck you, Logan. Am I now? This is where that political violence thing comes to mind. I'm not suggesting anyone go out and put a hit job on any of these people. I am suggesting just don't vote for them, and then just work to get them out of office. You know, but do it legally. You know, do it legally. Don't try to take matters in your own hands and threaten people with violence. That's not how it works. Right? Try them with ideas. Try and make more persuasive arguments than clearly I am able to. All right. But that also brings up another topic that is near and dear to Bernie Sanders' heart and mine, and that's getting money out of politics. So let's do that. Let's get money out of politics. Get ready for office. You want to take small donations? Okay, fine, but don't allow an entire lobby to buy you, like the education lobby completely bought Logan. I got a story about that too. This was during the 16 campaign at Washington Days. Washington Days is the annual get-together of the Kansas Democratic Party, held every year in it's February, March, but around that time, and always in Topeka, state's capital, and always fun things to do there. I remember that was actually the last Washington Days I went to as well. I remember with the Southeast Democratic Party, they always bring like barbecue and stuff to share with everyone, and it's always really, really good. And this comes from Kansas City, by the way. And I sat with Nancy and told her, yeah, I observed that Logan was hanging out with the education people, and she was like, well, that's because they bought him. So again, and fuck him, but don't kill him. All right, just let's reset for 2029 and just find someone who can run for that office and more importantly can win that office, because that's how you win. That's how you're. That's how it's supposed to be done, not with violence, but with doing things the right way. And on that end, I will leave you with donuts. Talk soon. Okay, good morning. Yes, it is that dark. It is just after 5:30 in the morning on a Wednesday, and I am going to work. And yes, it is that's dark. It usually is this dark about this time. See why I'm early to go to work on Wednesdays. This is what I'm talking about. All right. The club doesn't start until 7:30, but it just does take about that long to get from my house to where. All right. So my house is in Overland Park, Kansas, just in the northeastern corner of Johnson County. Where I'm going is Blue Springs, which is in Missouri, first of all, so I'm crossing the state line, and about past the midway point into eastern Jackson County, Missouri. There are only a couple ways to get there conveniently. And one of them happens to be a future streetcar route. I think we'll go that way today, but the most convenient way just opened back up this past week. That's Goulburn Road. So the progression, if you're going west to east, it goes Prairie Star Parkway, west of Renner Boulevard to then becomes 95th Street, and it stays in past the mall, all the way to State Line. That State Line becomes Bannister Road. It's the Bannister Mall back in the day, which is now, they tore the mall down and have started slowly building stuff back up there. And then from Bannister Mall becomes Colburn Road and into Heley Summit area, and it's the Colburn Road portion that recently reopened after being closed for forever. Notes to KDOT's. Let's get the turn diagonal fixed too already. It's been how long? Anyway, that's probably the fastest way from here without taking interstate. Of course, another habit about me is I fucking hate taking the interstate, and try to avoid it as much as possible. One of the symptoms of avoiding interstate travel is, you want to avoid it, but it's going to make your journey slightly longer. I won't say insanely longer, but it's still an hour drive out to where I'm going. It's going to be an hour back. Probably a little longer today because I have shit to do this evening. But we'll do we'll drive the east-west today. The east-west routes being planned for the streetcar with a slight alteration. And when we get there, I'll tell you why. So I will see you in a little bit. It's still dark, but we're almost here. So, KC Streetcar. This is currently in the planning phases. Don't expect this to be ready Streetcar until 2032 at the earliest, and that's entirely dependent on whether or not we get pro transit presidency after Donnie jerk off. So, this is the east-west routes, and we're going from west to east today with a slight detour, and I'll explain why when we get there. So we're going to start. I'm going to turn the camera over now. This is University of Kansas Medical Center, KU Med, and this is where we'll be. This is about where we'll be starting. We'll actually start on 39th Street, which is not this light, the next light. Next line is 39th. One of the things I saw them debating in their research is where the terminus would be, because this is where we can turn either right here at the light or 23, so it would be either right here at the light or right here at the emergency room. Brand new emergency room entrance right here. University of Kansas Hospital, which happens to sit right on state line, and we will be crossing the state line in 3, 2, move it, jerk off. So while we're here, I think this is Jazz Kitchen to your right. That's Cajun food. Friends Sushi immediately to your left here. Best sushi place in Kansas City. And this is the 39th Street West district. Everyone's complaining. Frickin' Frack, give them a shout out. As we used to go all the time with IFC. There would be the first stop after KU Med would be about here. Wyoming Street. As you see, the street here is pretty narrow, and the streets feeding into this are also pretty narrow, but it is what it is. Yeah, it is what it is, but this would be ideal for rail transit. Alright, so we're moving. They're already putting out the Christmas decorations. Not even Christmas yet, not even Thanksgiving yet. We just got done with Halloween not even a week ago. So why am I seeing the Christmas lights already? I think the next stop would be either around here with Q39 to my left, the Artigo Pizza also to my left, but realistically I think the next stop would be about here, which is Southwest Driveway. Missy B's to your right, famous drag bar. Alright, so yeah, there's Southwest Traffic Way. We are on the northern edge of Westport along this route. So yeah, this route would service Westport too, so that's pretty cool. Pennsylvania Avenue, not to be confused with the one in DC, of course, but just down the street to my right, into the heart of Westport. The Westport Coffee House is right there, and we keep moving. Next light is Broadway, and this will be the next stop along this route here at Broadway. Tom, if you're hearing this, let's consider naming it Westport Broadway, just because it sounds better, I think. And then the line would continue into the Westport stop at 39th and Main, which is up here, but I'm not allowed to turn left onto Main Street. So will you fuckers learn how to use a fucking crosswalk? I swear to God. Sorry, I almost ran into a couple guys trying to cross the street right there. So yeah, that's the reason I turned here, and then to my immediate right here, 38th and Baltimore is it's part of the streetcar extension now. This is the little outpost, if you will, that they built for maintenance along the Main Street extension. Which here's the Main Street extension because we're back on Main Street. So yeah, that's that portion on 39th would turn into the Main Street extension and follow the Main Street extension up to Linwood Boulevard. Is that nice little spur? What the hell is going on here? What the fuck is going on there? Did you see that? Something's on fire over there. What is he doing? And speaking of the streetcar, yeah, there's our first streetcar of the day at Armour stop. So Linwood, on the streetcar map, Linwood is between Armour and Union Hill. And you're at Linwood because immediately right there is Gates Barbecue. Hi, may I help you? And that's actually where we'll be turning. So strategically, this works to getting where I need to go this morning, because it will. Well, you'll see when we get there. All right, so it's okay to drive on the tracks here if you are turning, and yes, I am turning. But yeah, this light is Linwood Boulevard. And And right there is the Gates. The famous Gates barbecue. And this is the next part of the east-west line. So on Linwood Boulevard. The stop would actually be about where this light is, if I'm reading the schematics correctly. This would be the main at Linwood stop. Right here in this entrance, there's an empty field here. There's the Costco. Weed dispensary. I have not stopped by it yet. But, yeah, weed is legal in Missouri. Medicinal and recreational. Weed is completely illegal in Kansas. Fuck you very much, Ty Masterson. And I think it'd be between this light and the next light, this would be a stop on the east-west. This would be Gillum. So this is Gillum Plaza right here, which will continue to become Oak Street downtown, and Gillum Boulevard to our right. And next would be Gillum Road. Gillum is interesting because it got a road diet, got bike lanes and stuff, so that's cool. So this is Gillum Road, and we're starting to see the sun almost coming up. That'll be the next stop. South Texas. And we're going through the poorer communities of our city. This next light would be the next stop. This is Troost Avenue. Yes, the famous, or infamous rather, Troost Avenue. This is the unfortunate dividing line between the black communities to the east and the white communities to the west. So, there's a police station right here. And the next lights would be Paseo. This would be the next stop along the line. So, the Paseo. They say this chime signal right here is the oldest in the city, which is pretty cool. Habitat for Humanity to your right. In the old Orthodox Church, where I was for that East-West meeting that made its way to the podcast. And I think it's going to be a while before we get to our next stop. This is US 71, which is a quirky, which US 71 is quite quirky. It dumps into the downtown loop to my left, but it's not interstate yet. It won't become interstate until Grandview, because of 3 intersections south of Brush Creek. 3 intersections like this with a stop sign and everything, which you can't have interstates with that sort of thing. So it's 71 all the way through. So it'll continue to be 71, but past the Grandview Triangle, it becomes Interstate 49. Next stop, yeah, use a crosswalk, jackass. The next stop will be right here, Brooklyn Avenue. Down the street to my left is where the old municipal stadium once stood, at 22nd in Brooklyn, which is pretty close to 18th and Vine District, and I will hit that line eventually. Turn the course line left. Would not be as long as this line. This line's almost as long as the entirety of the current line. The next stop would be about here. This is Prospect. And we are deep ghetto right here at Prospect. This is like Black Main Street, if you will. I'm sorry to use the analogy, but it is. Unfortunately, that grocery store that closed is right there, which is sad because that was a good grocery store. I've been there a couple times. There are Max bus signs, so that's our poor attempt at bus rapid transit on Troost and on Prospect. The streetcar line exists on what used to be a Max bus sign. That is now no more. So yeah, there's a candidate. There are two candidates for your next couple of routes on Troost and on Prospect. Right here is Indiana Avenue. This will be the next stop. We have Central High School to my right. There's Stadium Park to my left. And there's a YMCA in this area too, so this will be the next stop. I think the next stop would be Jackson Avenue, which is still wings. We're starting to see sunlight come up. So yeah, here's the Y right here in Cleveland. And I'm sorry, not talking all that much. It's still very early in the morning. I think the lights is Jackson. Actually, this will be the next stop. Purely residential. So with this one, maybe not entirely residential. There's a fire truck. No, entirely residential. The only other thing I see around here is a church. And then the next stop after this would be, it's listed at Lister on the schematic, but I would change it to Lister for VA Hospital, because this is where the VA Hospital would be, and that's the next stop. The next stop would be about maybe a little further down. We're going to go down a hill a little bit here. Yeah, the next stop would be about here. This is the entrance to the Veterans Affairs Hospital. And I'm going to turn at the next light, but I think the line will continue a little further down this road, because it's going to curve up, cross 31st Street, and then end at Van Brunt Boulevard, and that'll be the end of this line. The study area actually went all the way out to the stadiums, which aren't too far from here. But yeah, the line from what I said would continue down this streets a little bit into Van Brunt Boulevard, but I'm turning here. And it'd still be to your left. If you saw this in person, yeah, it goes it's now a little downhill from where I'm looking. And this is a massive hill. But yeah, this light is Van Brunt to my left, Cleaver 2 to my right. And this is where the line would terminate. Right here, you got Taco Bell, you got McDonald's right here. The original plan for the East-West went out to the stadiums. We will be we're driving near the stadiums, but won't actually be passing them. But initially that was the plan, but there's not really a whole lot between that stop and the stadium. There's certainly not enough to justify a streetcar line at this point. And for everyone thinking coming up here for the World Cup, they will not even start construction on this particular line until 29 at the earliest. And wouldn't be finished till 32 at the earliest. Again, we're assuming that in 28 we essentially put Democrats back in the office because the current guy and his party are anti-transit. Because it's all green, it's all it's all hoax. They say the windmills give you cancer. That should not. Now, maybe it's not ideal for a streetcar, but certainly get some rail out there, especially if the NFL team decides to build a new stadium on the current sites. I don't know. It's still a gateway, if you will, to the eastern suburbs like Independence, Blue Springs, Lee Summit, Raytown, Green Valley. All right, and I am now on US 40, and I'll be on this road for a while. Wrong button, but yeah, we're going to end it here. But that is the East-West as experienced at 6:19 in the morning. Probably get a couple more of these in today, because why not? I'm out here. And I'll talk soon. This podcast is Uncalled For. It is hosted, produced, and edited by myself, Mike Chernovsky. Our opening music for the NaPodPoMo series is this podcast Uncalled For. The NaPodPoMo intro created at suno.com, suno.com. Our outro music is Open Door by Little Glass Men, licensed under Creative Commons Attribution License. You can find their music at freemusicarchive.org. Our additional music includes No Frills Salsa Alternate by Kevin MacLeod and Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 license, and Morocco Sting by Kevin MacLeod